Hello, my name is Rae-Lee and this is my research presentation on cannabis, or marijuana, for YC 215 Mental Health Addict Studies. What is cannabis? Cannabis, also known as marijuana, is a plant grown worldwide to be used for medicinal, religious, and recreational purposes. It is a tall, stiff-stemmed plant with divided and serrated leaves. History of cannabis. Cannabis use goes back to about 500 BC when it was used as a herbal medicine in Central Asia. Eventually, it was transported to Africa, Europe, and then the Americas. Its uses ranged from hemp production for cloth fibers to medicinal purposes to using seeds for food. When it came to the Americas, farmers were required to grow it in some states for its hemp fibers, as it was a quick and easy plant to grow. These early forms of marijuana had little effect on the mind. It is speculated that early religious ceremonies selectively used cannabis with higher amounts of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the chemical responsible for the impact on the mind. The 1800s was the time in America when cannabis began being used as medicine. In about 800 AD, cannabis began to be smoked through a pipe in Asia and the Middle East, but did not become recreational in the United States until 1900s. By 1931, cannabis was outlawed in 29 states due to racial discrimination. In Canada, marijuana was banned in 1923. In 2001, however, cannabis became legal for medicinal purposes. And in 2018, recreational purposes were legalized with guidelines. Medicinal purposes of cannabis. Medical marijuana has been found to help people with mental health disorders or problems, such as sleep disorders and anxiety disorders. It has also been used for physical issues, such as chronic pain, such as migraines and arthritis. Cannabis is mainly prescribed as an oil, vapor, or capsule. It is rarely recommended to smoke. There are differences in options, as the effects will differ with each option. For example, oil can last up to 8 hours, whereas vapor lasts up to 2. Recreational purposes of cannabis. Marijuana is often used for its mind-altering effects, which gives a high to the person using it, making the person feel happy and positive. Cannabis can be smoked, vaped, and mixed with food or drink. It is often consumed with alcohol. Religious purposes of cannabis. The use of cannabis for religious purposes dates back to about 2000 to 1400 BC in Nepal and India. It was believed to be able to cast out spirits. Marijuana was also used in China around 100 AD, as it was thought to heighten spiritual awareness. Hindu practices also indicate the use of cannabis as a gift from God, and many other cultures burned cannabis hemp in rituals. Short-term effects. When cannabis is smoked, it enters the bloodstream through the lungs, so the effects take about 30 to 60 minutes. Because the chemical makeup of cannabis is similar to natural chemicals, receptors will take in cannabis and create a high, where all senses are heightened. There is often confusion in time, body movement, and memory. This high will also change a person's mood to become happy. In high doses, hallucinations and delusions can occur, and in regular uses of high doses, psychosis can happen. If you stare at the box in the corner for 30 to 60 seconds, you can feel what hallucinations begin to feel like. Long-term effects. Impaired development is a long-term effect of continued use of marijuana. Teenagers who use marijuana may be at risk for permanent effects such as difficulties with their memory or thinking. This risk is because cannabis affects the way that the brain makes necessary connections. There are also risks to mental health, as the long-term effects can make a person depressed. Marijuana dependency and psychosis also have long-term harmful effects. Extra information. The repetitive use of cannabis can turn into a substance use disorder. There are no medical treatments for this SUD, but behavioral therapy, support groups, etc. are positive ways to treat SUD. Additionally, smoking marijuana is similar to smoking a cigarette, and this can cause cancer.